Thank you again for joining me today on this Friday to look again at the book of Acts and the ongoing journey of the Apostle Paul. Where we will pick up his journey today is in chapter 22, verses 22 through 29. Just a little background that Paul has had a remarkable journey through Asia. He has spoken in synagogues, he has spoken in public places, he has utilized his capacity for language in Greek and Aramaic. And when we pick up verse 22 out of chapter 22, Paul in verse 21 has just said a very provocative thing. He's in a very difficult position because he's being accused of bringing a Greek into the temple area, which he has not done. But some of the Jews from the greater Asia area who are incensed at the capacity of his ministry and the impact of it have come looking for anything they possibly can to accuse him of so that they might do away with him, literally. And when Paul testifies in verse 21, "Then the Lord said to me, 'Go and I will send you far away to the Gentiles.'" It said the crowd listened to Paul until he said this. Then they raised their voices and shouted, "Rid the earth of him. He is not fit to live." You can see the very strong emotional and religious reaction of the Orthodox Jews that were there at Paul's declaration that the Lord was sending him to the Gentiles. And it says, as they were shouting and throwing off their cloaks and flinging dust into the air, the commander ordered Paul to be taken into the barracks. He directed that he be flogged and questioned in order to find out why the people were shouting at him like this. They were trying to use torture in order to come to a truthful understanding as to why the crowd was so incensed at this individual who had arrived fairly recently in Jerusalem. It says, as they stretched him out to flog him, Paul said to the centurion standing there, "Is it legal for you to flog a Roman citizen who hasn't even been found guilty?" When the centurion heard this, he went to the commander and reported it. "What are you going to do?" he asked. "This man is a Roman citizen." The commander went to Paul and asked, "Tell me, are you a Roman citizen?" "Yes, I am," Paul answered. Then the commander said, "I had to pay a big price for my citizenship." "But I was born a citizen," Paul replied. Those who were about to question him withdrew immediately. The commander himself was alarmed when he realized that he had put Paul, a Roman citizen, in chains. As I read that, I wonder, okay, what spiritual benefit might I take from that today? I'm deeply grateful that coming to this point in Paul's journey through life as a Christian, that his previous history and preparation for these moments in this time were so adequate. He was a Jew, but he was born as a Roman citizen because of the city that he was born in and the association with his family. So he had dual identities in that sense, and on this occasion it saved him from probably a flogging that might have left him crippled for life. And I'm deeply grateful that in our lives, maybe out of our past history, things that have occurred or are in place because of who we are can be used by the Lord in our present circumstances to advance His kingdom. There also can be deficits, that's understood. But in this case, Paul's Roman citizenship saved him from a terrible, terrible beating. And it enabled him to be able to go on with his ministry in a powerful way. It also reveals that Paul was a multilingual individual. We know from the book of Acts thus far that he was knowledgeable in Greek. He also spoke to these Jews in Aramaic. And a couple of commentators even speculate that when Paul spoke to the Roman soldiers, he may well have addressed them in Latin. Isn't that amazing? All of that learning that happened so far back in his personal history now came to be critical assets to allow him to continue on in the ministry to the Gentiles that God had prepared him for. I'm deeply grateful that the same God that provided for Paul in this circumstance is one that can bring our gifts, our training, our preparation to the place where we are in our journey today and be a source of encouragement and help in this peculiarly difficult time in our national and world history. Well, may the Lord bless you. I'll be praying for your journey as I pray for mine. God bless you.